everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Cooking with a Twist of Faith. You are cooking with me, Sabrina Bright. I am Sabrina Bright. So guys, today we are going to be doing a seafood dish. We are going to be frying catfish. We are going to be making a salmon sauce with salmon and potatoes and a salad. So let's go ahead and get into it. On today's menu, we will have fried catfish, salmon with cream sauce, and red potatoes, and fresh salad. The full ingredients list will be listed in the description box for this particular menu. So the first thing you want to do is to clean your fish. You want to make sure you clean it well, strain it, and then pat it dry before we get ready to move further with this particular fish. Now you want to crack 2 eggs into a bowl, and then after you crack the 2 eggs into the bowl, you want to use a whisk to mix it up really well, almost as if you're making scrambled eggs. Next, you are going to add some seasoning to your eggs, because you're going to put your fish in this and you want the fish to be as tasty as possible. So you definitely want to season up your eggs that you are going to put your fish inside of. Go ahead and pat your fish dry before you put it into the mixture. And then you want to put it on both sides. And so the next thing we want to do is to prepare our fish fry. So I am going to put some fish fry into this Ziploc bag. I already had some in there seasoned, but I just needed to add just a little bit more, because once I take my fish out of the egg mixture, I am going to shake it up in the fish fry so that it can have a wonderful and crisp taste. Notice that I am going to put more Tonys into the fish fry because I want to keep the taste consistent. Then I'm going to shake it up and make sure that it's mixed really well. Go ahead and taste your fish fry. You want to make sure it has enough seasoning, because how the fish fry tastes is going to be how your fish is going to taste. And mine need just a little bit more Tonys for it to be the way I like it to be. Then I'm going to go ahead and shake it up some more, ensuring that all the ingredients are mixed nicely, the seasoning along with the fish fry. To the fish fry, I am going to add salt and pepper, and I'm going to add the seafood magic. Then I'm going to go ahead and shake it up again. Now I'm going to put my fish in the fish fry mixture after taking it out of the egg mixture. And this way it's going to ensure that my fish have a nice crisp crust on the outside. I'm going to continue with this process until I have put all my fish pieces into the egg mixture and then into my fish fry mixture. And I shake it up so that I can make sure that each piece gets fish fry over it. So after I pat the fillet fish dry from the water, then I put it back in the egg mixture on both sides, and then I put it in the fish fry mixture. And as I mentioned before, I just continue this process until all pieces have been done. So I shake up the bag after every piece that I put inside, just to make sure it get distributed evenly. And now you'll see me just checking, making sure that every piece of fish has fish fry on both sides. But now I'm going to get ready to dip it again. So I'm now putting it back in the egg mixture. And then at this point, I am putting it back into the fish fry. And the reason why I'm doing this double is because I want it to be extra crispy. This is just a way to have your fish to be extra crispy. I'm going to continue this process until all pieces have been dipped in the egg mixture again and then placed in the fish fry bag. And I will shake them all up like you're seeing, so that I can ensure that each piece is well covered in fish fry. And once again, I am looking at all pieces that's in the bag that have been double dipped, ensuring that every single fish piece has fish fry on it, front and back, top and bottom. Guys, you want to make sure that your tray has paper towels at the bottom of it so it can catch the excess fish fry, and so that you can use the rack on top to lay your fish before you fry it. So right now I am putting my fish fillet pieces onto the grill, and I'm getting ready to put the vegetable oil in my cast iron skillet so that I can fry it. This is the brand I'm using. Now that I am done with the fish fry, I'm going to walk it over and put it back on the rack. It's a good idea to put things away as you finish so that you don't have a big mess at the end. So here is another pan that I prepared, and my fish that's going to be fried and ready is going to go on that pan. And once again, I lined it with paper towels so that it can catch the excess grease. So it seems as though my heating element is hot enough and ready for me to put my fish in. I have one fish fillet in, and now I'm going to add a second fish fillet because my cast iron skillet can hold up to 3 this size. So now I'm going to put the last fillet in there, and it doesn't take long before it's done. As you can see, the heat and the bubbling of the grease. And so now I'm going to prepare my potatoes. So I'm cleaning my potatoes with baking soda, ensuring that all of my potatoes are thoroughly clean before preparing for the meal. I will clean each potato one by one with the baking soda and then place it onto the paper towel so that it can absorb the water that's falling from the potato. And then I just proceed back to my strainer, cleaning all the others until all of them are completely clean. As I am cleaning my last potato, I am getting ready to go over to the cast iron skillet to check on the fish. And now it looks like it's time to remove, to flip it over, I should say. Flip it over before I remove it to the other side. But it's almost done. It doesn't take long at all. So now I am going to cut my potatoes into 4 pieces. And then I'm going to put it in the strainer. But at the same time, I'm still working on my fish, and it's finally done. So now I am going to put the fried fish onto the rack to catch the excess grease. And at the same time, to let it cool down just a little bit. And here is how our fish look. Nice and crispy, nice golden brown color. It looks so good already. Can't wait. So now I'm going to continue cutting my potatoes. And because I am going to be having this along with my salmon cream sauce, I want to make sure that I cut it into bite sizes. So I am cutting it in half and then cutting it into 4ths and then putting it back into the strainer. And I'll just continue this process until I have cut up all of my red potatoes. I try to make the pieces around the same size, as equally as I can. So this is still in preparation of putting them into the Ninja Foodie. And I haven't seasoned them just yet. This is just the part to get them to the point where I'm ready to start seasoning them to prepare them for the Ninja Foodie. So I'm finally down to my last potato, and once again I am cutting these into bite sizes and getting them into the strainer to move into the next step. So when it's all done, this is how it will look. So then we want to take our potatoes, we clean them again, and then you want to take them and put them into another bowl. And this is going to be the bowl that you are going to use to add your seasoning. So I'm going to add the infused garlic, olive oil to the bowl. And because I like mine seasoned well, I'm going to add another infused olive oil to the bowl. It's my oregano. And all of this, guys, is just flavoring. All of this is what makes those potatoes taste so good and keep them so moist. I am going to add adobo seasoning. I am going to add garlic powder. Then I'm adding onion powder. I don't know why this top is giving me such a hard time. My goodness, I'm just going to unscrew it and take it off and add it. Next, I want to add my oregano. and some parsley. And then some basil leaves. Now I just want to mix all of this up until it combines, making sure that all pieces have some of the seasonings that was prepared in the bowl. And all of this, guys, is going to add to the taste of your potatoes once they are done. Now I have a lining for the Ninja Foodi, so I'm going to put all of those pieces onto the lining before I put it into the Ninja Foodi. And it's going to be a lot because there's a lot of potatoes. I'm trying to get them all on this one lining. I don't recommend that you crowd them the way I'm going to crowd them, but it works for me. So I'm going to put them all there and get them all together as one as best as I can so that I can run it in the Ninja Foodi one time. And I still have some others I have to use the same process with that I didn't add in the first round. So once again, I'm going to use the same seasonings. This is a garlic infused olive oil I'm adding to the second round of potatoes, red potatoes. This was the second half that I left out. And then I'm going to add the oregano infused olive oil. I am going to add garlic powder. Next, I'm going to add onion powder. I am going to add oregano leaves. Adobo seasoning. Some parsley flakes. And then some basil leaves. And just like I did the last time, I'm going to take my hand and mix them up, ensuring that all pieces are fully covered in the seasoning mix. Now I'm going to get my Ninja Foodi ready. So, being as careful as I can to not have any fall off, I'm going to put it in the Ninja Foodi. And then those few pieces that wouldn't fit, I'm going to make them fit. So I'm going to put them along the sides as best as I can, because as I mentioned before, I am really trying to do this just one time in the Ninja Foodi. All right, looks like I'm having lots of luck with making it fit. Put some more on the sides. Try to squeeze it in as best as I can. All right, looks like it's working out. A couple of more pieces to go. All right, it fit, yay. So now I'm gonna close it and proceed with that. In the meantime, I am going to cut my salmon fillets in half. I just don't want them real big in my salmon sauce. So I cut them in half so that you don't have these big pieces of salmon in the sauce. So I just continue cutting them until they're done, and then I rinse them off, give them a good washing. So once I am done cleaning them, I'll shake off the excess water. Then I get a paper towel and then put each piece onto the paper towel to help absorb some of the water. Once they're on the napkin, I like to pat them dry. Just trying to get as much of that extra water off. And then I put them into a separate bowl so that I can prepare to season my salmon. So now that they're clean and dry, I'm going to add some garlic infused olive oil to season them. I'm basically going to use the same seasonings I used earlier. I'm going to add some oregano infused olive oil. I'm going to add some garlic powder. Now I'm going to add adobo seasoning. Onion powder. Oregano leaves. And basil leaves. And parsley. So while I'm preparing the seasonings, I'm going to go ahead and get my pan ready so that I can saute my salmon. So I'm going to put some garlic infused olive oil in the pan. And some oregano infused olive oil in the pan as well. And I'm going to turn on my heat. And while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and mix up all the seasoning on my salmon, ensuring that every piece is well seasoned on both sides. In addition to the infused olive oil, I'm going to add 2 pieces of butter to the pan. And then I'm just gonna mix that around until it dissolves. Now I'm going to take my salmon and place my salmon into the pan. I'm going to put the skins down, starting with that side first. So I'm going to continue placing the pieces into the pan until all pieces are in the pan. And because I'm not doing a lot of salmon, I'm doing just enough for this pan, all of these will be able to fit If you were doing more than that, you may have had to do it twice, some now and then some later. Once it looks like it's cooking well on the skin side, I'm going to flip it over so that I can cook the opposite side as well. So both sides are going to need to be cooked. I have to be careful not to break the pieces, so I'm using tongues because it's easy to flip the pieces over and to keep it together instead of falling apart. Now that my salmon is finished cooking on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the plate, removing each piece one at a time to put it onto the plate to prepare for my salmon sauce. So now that I'm done, I'm going to remove the pan, and this is what it looks like. So now I am going to cut my fresh vegetables because this is what I'm going to need for my salmon sauce. So I cut my orange bell peppers. Now I am cutting my red bell peppers. And my yellow bell peppers. I like to use multi-bell peppers. Not only does it make your food pretty, but it actually benefits your body. The different bell peppers. Now I'm going to cut my green bell peppers. And so now that I cut those in strips, now I'm going to go ahead and put them in chunks. Cut them in chunks. Once I finish cutting each of my bell peppers, I'm going to chop them up just a little bit more fine before putting it to the side to move on to cutting my onions. I definitely want my bell peppers cut just a little bit smaller than they were. So now that I am done cutting up my bell peppers, I'm going to put them into my pan to saute. And now I am going to cut my onions. And guys, one thing I want to point out is after I fried my salmon on both sides, I did not clean my pan because all of that is the seasonings that make your salmon cream sauce tastes really good. So you don't want to get rid of that. You want to put your bell peppers right in there, and then when you are done chopping up your onions, you want to add it to the pan as well. All of this is what makes it taste so good. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that little extra something that can make your salmon cream sauce taste amazing. So now I am going to add my onions into that pan with the bell peppers. And I am going to monitor it by stirring because I don't want it to burn. So you want to stir to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, but at the same time, it actually picks up all the extra that's at the bottom of the pan from the salmon, which helps your cream sauce to taste spectacular. So you definitely want to get all of that goodness because you want to use all of that goodness in your sauce. So let's check on our potatoes, and it seems as though they are ready. So be careful when you are lifting up the lining with your potatoes so that you don't burn yourself. And in this particular case, I have to do it a couple of times because I almost dropped some of it. And so now I'm just gonna put it on the tray, and I'm gonna just close my Ninja Foodi. And this is what it looks like. They are completely done. So I'm coming back over to my pan where I am preparing my salmon cream sauce. So I'm just stirring, make sure that nothing is sticking. And now I'm going to add some heavy whipping cream to my pan. Now I am going to add some cornstarch and water. This is going to help to thicken up my salmon cream sauce. And then that's what it looks like. So I just use just a little bit of water, and then I'm just going to pour it into the pan. And you'll see it thicken immediately. It does not take long for the cornstarch to dissolve into your salmon cream sauce. Thicken it up as it goes. And you have to also be careful. You don't want to pour too much because it'll make it thick really quickly, and then it'll be too thick. So you have to be careful. In this case, I did just that. I put just a little bit too much, so I had to add some more of the heavy whipping cream to the sauce to get it where it's not so thick, to thinning it out some. So now I'm going to add my salmon into my cream sauce that I am still making. And I'm going to just stir, ensuring that all pieces are spreaded out and is being cooked well into the salmon cream sauce. As it cooks, I am going to flip it over to the other side. I just want to make sure that the cream sauce is on both sides of the salmon, not just one. And I'm also going to add some adobo seasoning to the pan. I'm going to add parsley to the pan with the cream sauce. I am going to add basil leaves to it. Oregano leaves will be added next. a little bit of salt, and of course a little bit of pepper. And you don't have to add the extra salt, it's totally optional if you feel the adobo seasoning has enough salt for you. And so now I'm going to just mix everything up and give it a quick stir. Flipping the pieces over yet again, the salmon pieces, making sure that the seasoning is getting onto both sides, and mixing up the dry seasonings that I just put in to the saucepan. And of course you want to taste it, guys, to make sure that everything is good. And it seems like I need to add just a little bit more of adobo seasoning. So now I am going to cut my mushrooms. I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces to put into my cream sauce. These are the baby Bella mushrooms I am working with that I am going to put into the sauce. I have some pieces that are big that I'm cutting down into smaller sizes. I don't like a whole baby Bella mushroom into my sauce. I like to break it up or cut it up into smaller sizes. Once I am done adding in all of my mushrooms, I'm going to put spinach next. So I want to make sure my spinach is clean. I know the packaging says that it's been washed and clean, but I just like to double clean it myself to make sure that it's clean. So I usually go through it and rinse it out really well. And then when I'm done with that, I like to shake it to remove the excess water. And a lot of times I'll use a paper towel to dry it first, but this time I shook it well enough where I was just able to put it into the mixture. So now I'm just going to stir it. I'm going to stir the salmon cream sauce up with all the seasonings and the fresh vegetables and the mushrooms and the spinach. And then of course you want to have another test to make sure, a taste test that is, to make sure that you're not missing anything. That's the taste I was looking for. And here's our meal now that it's done. There's our salmon, and there's our salmon sauce, there's our salad, and there's our red potatoes. I can't wait. It's time to plate it, guys. Okay, guys, we are finally done with our meal. Here is our fried catfish. There's our red potatoes. There is our salmon with our salmon sauce with mushrooms and spinach. And there is our salad. But before we can indulge in this meal, we have to give grace. Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you for allowing me to receive this meal. Help it to nourish my body. Help it to nourish the bodies of my viewers, Lord, as they prepare this meal for their families. Help it to nourish the bodies of my family members. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. All right, guys. It smells so good. Now, you know what? I think I want to do my catfish first. Mmm. Mmm. That crunch is amazing. Mmm. I absolutely love the crunch, guys. Mmm. Now let's try some of our potatoes with our salmon sauce over it. Mmm. So good. Mmm. Some ranch dressing on it. Try my salmon. Look at that, guys. I didn't even show you close up. So good. Let me show you this close up too. It's my potatoes with my cream sauce. Spinach, mushrooms. Onions and bell peppers, yum. Wow, you guys. What a terrific meal. The salad is really good too. Wash it down with a little bit of H2O. Yum. Guys, if this is your first time visiting my channel, thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope that you've had the opportunity to learn how to prepare this delicious meal for your family. And while you're here, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel, because I do amazing things on this channel, from cooking to baking to in the garden, harvesting and planting and grocery haul. So I'd love to have you join our family. For my viewers that's been coming and viewing all the delicious things that I am preparing, the baking, and just spending time with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Guys, I am going to say God bless you. I'm going to say see you next time, because I'm going to go and indulge in this. So I will see you next time, guys. Bye.